Okay, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready?
Yes.
We are not ready. One time and one last time. Are we ready?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's start, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's debate is divided into two sessions. We will be starting with the first session, taking into consideration that both sessions will have the same rules. I will be stating out the rules that have already been sent to you for the speakers for them to rewind. And kindly, if you are also in the second session of the debate, note that the rules will be repeated. Now, section 1, Team A supporting, Team B opposing. The title is social media making us more or less connected? Team A will support the idea that social media is making us more connected. Team B will support the idea that social media is making us less connected. Or basically, they will be the opposing team. We have 3 speakers from each team. If I call out your name, please stand up so the audience can acknowledge your presence. From the supporting team, we have at the opening statement, Toastmaster Nahla AlDoais. Let's hear her. Let's give the round of applause to Dan for him. Let's go like the competitions go. They keep the round of applause after we hear all the names, all right? Second, the rebuttal, we will have Toastmaster Shafraz Mubarak. All right, change of plans. Whenever you hear a name, just clap. Conclusion, we will have Toastmaster AbdulMajid Osmani. Opposing them, Team B, at the opening statement, we will have Toastmaster Fatima Almubarak. At the rebuttal, we will have Toastmaster. There is a mistake here. The rebuttal will be Toastmaster Fahad Siraj. At the conclusion, we will have Toastmaster Ola Adel. Now, as you notice, there are 3 sections. We will start with the opening statement from Team A and then the opening statement from Team B. The allotted time of the opening statement is 5 to 7 minutes. There will be no grace period. So, once you see the timer raising the red card, I request everyone to start clapping. And then the speaker will finish their speech. Now, this also means that there is no grace period. The speaker can speak less than 5 minutes. He or she can speak even 1 minute or 2 minutes. He or she will not be qualified. However, the team will not be affected with that. So, less than 5 minutes, even less than 5 minutes, the team will be qualified. Only the speaker won't be qualified for voting. Next, we will have the rebuttal. 3 to 5 minutes. Same rule goes to the timing here. Less than 3 minutes, no disqualification. More than 5 minutes, I will start clapping. You all start clapping with me. The speaker must end. Last conclusion is also 3 to 5 minutes, but in the conclusion, we will start first with the opposing team and then with the supporting team. All right?
Dear Toastmasters and distinguished guests, and fellow my debaters, good evening.
Good evening.
And our opponent team came here and said some points. They said that social media disconnect us. Isn't it, Fatima, you said? Oh, I would like to enforce on what Toastmaster Nahla said. How do you came to know about this club? Shall we end the debate now? I saw that when Toastmaster Nahla asked, how many of you came to know about this club? Even all those 3 members raised their hands. See, it's a living proof that we connect through social media. Imagine there's no social media. Will you come to know about by a magazine or a newspaper? That won't happen. Anyhow, we will continue the debate. And Toastmaster Fatima, she said that a story that 15 years ago, a family of 6 people gathered and laughing, talking to each other and all. And they said like, people who are connected are not related and people who are not related are not connected. Isn't that you said? In a group, you may be alone. But say, Toastmaster AbdulMajid, you are not alone. You are somebody for us. So you join a group or your social media, you are not alone. We feel value. Whenever you tweeted, whenever you posted something, we will like, we will share it, we will comment on it. You are not alone. If you are not being valued, if you are not being recognized in your home, you need to fix on that one. It's social media cannot fix on that. And did you notice that? It's like that husband and wife, they can sit next to each other, they will be in phone, they are not talking to each other. But didn't you notice that nowadays, how many reels we are sharing with our family members? Okay, how many husbands, can you raise your hands? Per day, how many reels you are getting through your wife? Okay. So it's another way of connecting. So in earlier days, people laugh together, cook together, but nowadays they make reels together or they share reels together. So it's a way of connecting. So what has changed over the period of time is how you connect. So the good old days, yes, you have to sit in a sofa, talk to each other, your friends and family and everyone will walk in. That's how it's connected. But now how we are connected is when I see something, I wanted to share that with my friends and families. So I feel connected. And I wanted to say one more thing. And that is one of the highlight points that I wanted to highlight, that in social media, you assume that you have some chronic illness or some personal challenges. You are not alone in this world. You will find a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group for that. People with ADHD, people with dyslexia, you will get support. Even in this entire universe, you are not alone. You are not left alone. Even if you're left by your family, social media will help you. And it said that enjoyments and laugh, and that's what are more valuable than that. I think it's social media allows the superficial and deep connections. So it allows you to have more superficial and deep connections. And it's only about how we need to use. It's something like a knife. You can either cut it, a vegetable, or even you can kill a person. So it's how we need to use it, how we need to educate. It's not something like that we should not do it. Because I wanted to highlight one point. When the steam engine rail came in the first industrial revolution, people got scared. This is a big devil is coming. When the steam engine came in 18th century. And when computer came, Y2K and all, they got scared. When social media came, they're also getting scared. So it's only about how we need to educate it. And I would like to conclude that we are connected through social media more than any other mediums in the world right now. And I would like to end my speech. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. And my fellow enemy Toastmasters and my team members. The first point that Toastmaster Shafraz made was asking my teammate, how did she get to know about this Toastmaster session? She said social media. How old do you think social media is, guys? When do you think social media started? 20 years ago? I'll give 10 more years because, things were going on. 30 more years. How old do you think Toastmasters is? More than the year social media was even there, Toastmasters was alive and well running. However, I am very well aware the people that I'm speaking to is fairly young. You all are young faces, everyone's young. Imagine if they were all 60, 70-year-olds. There was no way they were even coming to the stage. They were already convinced. But I'm speaking to a young audience who knows social media is the way some of you were born and only saw social media, didn't even see the days before that. But I want you to open your mind for a second and think a little bit outside of what you already know. All right? Starting with the introduction that was done, there was something something that was said, very specific by Toastmaster Nahla, which was during the whole issue that this person had at Twitter X, that story, she said something that during the times when you feel the most misunderstood and lonely, why? Why do you think people are feeling more lonely and misunderstood more than ever? Don't you think it's because of something that came that makes you think that you're connected with the whole world, but actually deep down you know only when Wi-Fi switches off you want to go speak with your family members, right? So it makes you think that you're connected. It makes you think that you're not lonely. Makes you think, but think deeply. Are you really connected? I want you to think. All right. With the whole issue that happened at Twitter and the X and all of this, the first thing I would ask is, such a big issue that happened, why did the issue happen in the first place? Rather than trying to fix it by X, because they also said that connections and all of this, we need social media, but let's be honest, guys, and even to fix problems, connections, great connections existed before social media as well. Actually, I want you to think world existed much more longer than social media, and it was fine. Believe me, I read a bit of history. It was fine. People were doing fine. People were happy. Some people will tell you they were more happy than before. Some people will tell you, but I want you to focus on those people. All right. Some of the things that I wanna bring to you is, how do you think social media makes money? What do you think their way is? It's free for you, right? But how do you think it makes money? Please.
They sell data.
They sell data. We are the price. There you go. He said it. You are the product. Let me really put this in. You buy a car, it's a commodity. Something that you buy, you put money, you buy, right? You buy things, all of this in front of you, you buy. But how about I told you that social media has introduced a way where you are the commodity? How does that make you feel? Manipulated, right? Well, social media could have existed without this, but this is the truth. This is how it is. And that's what social media is making you do. They're selling things more than you think they are not. And it's happening at what cost? At some random connection you made somewhere else. So, last thing I want to say is that I think the age-old thing or saying, quality over quantity, right? Social media gives you great quantity, guys, great connections, but it's all quality. That's where your true connections are. And they are not, you don't need them on Facebook. They are right beside you, your family members. You stick with them, you will feel the most connected. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to this dialectic session. Dialectic because we want to find the truth. We will hear nice claims, we will hear forced statements, but at the end of the day, we want to know what is the truth. Before I say anything else, let me take you back to the lockdown. Do you remember the lockdown, the COVID lockdown? How did you connect with your families, the ones who didn't live with you? Did you use social media? Imagine there was no social media on those days. What would have been the condition? You would not know the well-being of any family member who lived just next to your house because you couldn't go out. You would only know if the ambulance came. Remember, today, what we are doing here, this debate, is not to know how social media works. It is what you do with the social media, how you use it. And on a side note, between the 6 speakers, Toastmaster Fahad has the most active social media account. And don't listen to him, go subscribe to his YouTube channel, please. I appreciate a good debate, and I also salute the opponents for fighting a losing cause. But let me go on and conclude this very well. Social media has revolutionized communication. That is what it has done. Like the time you got the mobile phones. Before you had the mobile phones, you would need to go somewhere to a fixed phone and use it. Now you talk wherever you are, to whoever you want, whenever you want. And this is the same thing with social media. It has revolutionized the way you communicate. One of the most critical things of social media nowadays is the speed of communication, is the speed of information. How many of you work here in corporate? How many of you work here in corporate? Do you have a budget for social media? No. You should have one. Nowadays, up to 10% of a company's budget is allocated to social media usage. You could not put 10% of all the companies in the world to social media if this was of no value. Look, the guy holding the gun is the problem. The gun is not the problem. So if you have a phone in your hand, if you have social media in your hand, educate yourself. Learn how to use it. You know the success story of so many, about 1 million people have YouTube channels. Why are some more successful? Why aren't some more less successful? It's because they know how to use it. And for those of you complaining about Facebook monetizing your content, monetizing you, you are earning money by posting your content on Facebook. You don't have a complaint when you are earning. Why do you complain when somebody else is earning? At the end of the day, Facebook employs 1 billion people. They need to pay them. Business is business. But we are not talking about business today. Again, we are talking about what social media does. Does it connect you? Does it divide you? It connects you. You choose to divide. You choose whom to message. I don't message my aunt because I find it boring. I message my friend. He entertains me a lot. He talks well to me. I message my teacher from college because I remember him. I choose to message him. So it's a choice. Social media, my Instagram doesn't force me, watch this. No. I choose to watch it. My Facebook doesn't tell me, post a comment here. I choose to post a comment there. Whether it's a good comment or a bad comment, this is my choice. At the end of the day, I am the person who's choosing. So social media will help you connect, will help you learn. How many of you have learned something on social media? How many of you? I see everybody. Okay, khalas, let's end it. No. My mother, she doesn't know how to use a phone, but she knows how to use YouTube to check for recipes. I love that. Gives me good food. At the end of the day, the debate is to find the truth. I can tell something funny and I can tell something which is not real, and it will catch your attention. But you should go for the truth. And one thing, because this is a Toastmaster stage, I would like to say, in the last 10 years, through social media, Toastmasters has grown so much more than in the past 90 years. So the real strength came to Toastmasters through the use of social media, through the use of internet, and through the use of people who had the mindset to use it for positivity. Thank you.
Listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I want you to picture this. You are sitting as an audience and whatever, or you are watching a YouTube video on YouTube, and you are watching this speaker who is well prepared. He's showing you presentations, graphs, and he prepared a pre-written, a well-structured speech. However, there is something missing in this speech. You might notice, there is no emotions. Even if he tried, tried a lot to show his emotions, you will see it is not that real emotions. There is no connection with you, right? I'm sure you can relate to this. However, there is another speaker who is improvised speaking, who speak from his heart. He crafts his speech at the moment. He doesn't have notes or any presentation. However, he show you his own emotion, like real emotions. He reflects his like immediate ideas. Which one would you think that's more engaging for the audience? And like he prepared more impactful speech. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to argue that improvised speech is more effective than prepared speech. And I have points for that. The first one is the adaptability. Improvised speaking, he will monitor the audience reactions. He will look at their eyes, their body language, and at the moment, he will be like a creative. He will create sentences that engage his audience. Like not like the prepared speech. Prepared speech, he already prepared the speech. He will speak whatever he wrote in his speech. So the first one is the adaptability. A improvised speaker is more adapted to the audience than the prepared speech. The second one is the authenticity. As I told you earlier, improvised speaking, when something has like a very well improvisational skills, and let's say he got a question from the audience, he will answer this question reflecting his own knowledge, his own immediate thoughts, and his own emotions. So the second thing is the authenticity. Improvised speech is more authentic than prepared speech. The third thing is the mental agility. And what I mean by that, like the speaker, he will answer unexpected questions. He will answer unexpected questions comfortably and smoothly. And let me tell you an example that happened in the company I'm in. One guy, he prepared a speech or a presentation. And the presentation, like, it was very wonderful presentation. It was well structured. He prepared the slides. Like, he worked on this presentation for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. However, at the end, when he ended the presentation, he asked the audience, guys, any questions? And actually, from deep inside, he didn't want anyone to ask him questions. He just want, because he prepared the speech and he memorized everything in the presentation, and he want to finish. And so he got a question from the audience, and believe it or not, this question ruined the whole presentation that he delivered. He wasn't able to answer this question. He stumbled upon his words. So that's why I'm saying improvised speech is more effective. Like managers.
Fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, the warmest good evening I've ever given. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Special good evening to Team C, who we're competing with. Best of luck. Well, in a raise of hand, how many of you have been on stage before? Great. A follow-up question. How many of you have been on stage in a serious occasion or a huge event? So a lot of you, if not all, will relate to what I'm about to say. A good speech is supposed to be effective, structured, constructive, convincing, and speaks to people's hearts and minds. And when I ask you this, what is the most effective memorable speech written in history, engraved in the audience memory that people can think of. Let me ask you this. If we assume that these speeches are not good enough, then it won't be remembered at all. It won't be engraved in that history. Well, I really hate to point out the obvious, but let me tell you, the reason why, or the $1 million question is, why we support that prepared speech and we choose prepared speeches over improvised speeches. Well, duh, but let me break it down. First, having enough time. When you have enough time, you can prepare your thoughts and choose the right information and reflect those right information on a well-crafted speech. Another thing, time management within the speech. Well, if I get on stage and I'm well prepared and I know in advance what I'm talking about, then I won't be exceeding the time limit. I won't be ruining that event. But if I will improvise, I will definitely exceed the time limit. And I'll be ruining that event and that order of the agenda of that event. And by the way, they don't have green, yellow, red cards. You never know. You'll be wasting people's time. Okay. Another thing, the quality of the language. If you give me enough space to choose the words carefully, words that can be meaningful and effective and leave a memorable, noticeable impact on my audience. And the last, not the least, the pressure. If I will be ready for that event or that speech, then I'll be comfortable and I'll be delivering the speech I wrote exactly. And I can be even more creative because I have the upper hand. But if I'm doing improvisation, I'll be under a huge pressure, which is something that is acceptable and acceptable. But it will cause mistakes. And I'll be even trying to put myself or get myself out of trouble giving not correct information. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I leave the choice to you, ask yourself this. Why Toastmaster organization biggest contest is International Speech Contest? What is that? It's a prepared speech, for God's sake. Why, if I give you the choice, if I ask you to participate in a serious occasion, and I give you the choice, improvisation, prepared speech, you will definitely choose prepared because you don't want to put yourself under a huge pressure and you'll be all over the place. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, I will leave you with this. We all know that leaders lead by example. So all examples I see are leaders delivering prepared speeches. Over to you.
And a special good evening to our opponents who are stating that prepared speeches are far better than improvised speeches. Let's see. Who here actually stood up on a table topic and delivered his first table topic speech? Raise your hands. I'll choose one randomly. Please tell me, Toastmaster Maryam, how was your feeling after you stood up here and you spoke impromptu?
I felt proud.
She felt proud. Did you actually want to, or did you wanted to do it prepared after that? No. I can guarantee you. No. I can see her smile. She's saying no. I've had the confidence, enough confidence to stand up here and speak with emotions to my audience. So the opposing team are stating that you cannot be creative and you cannot be structured unless you spend hours and hours and hours of many rehearsals and asking many people, what do you think of my speech? What do you think? What can I modify? What can I do? Oh, I don't feel ready. Instead of standing here and dealing and on the spot, on your feet, trying to structure your speech, just like what I'm doing right now. The second thing, and this is very interesting, the opposing team mentioned that leaders or the most famous leaders actually prepared their speeches. This is true. This is true. However, we have an example. If you remember who did this, our crown prince, Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And he did it improvised. The idea came on his mind while he was speaking about very important subject related to Neom. This is one thing. The third thing, stating that you will control your speech and you will make it perfect. Do you know what perfectionism is? You will be like an actor. Even your emotions will not be real sometimes. If you're lucky, it will be real, but most of the times, no, it's not. Because why? You over-rehearsed. Ladies and gentlemen, from a guy who stood up on this club, not prepared when he delivered his icebreaker, and everybody stood up and was amazed by the performance of that icebreaking speech. Believe me, standing up, improvised, just like what I'm doing right now, will take you millions of levels, and you will remember my speech, just like I'm standing right now. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Toastmaster and guest, a very good evening. With all due respect to my supporting team, I believe in pursuit of proving your point, you were contradicting yourself to the notion that improvised speeches are better. You know how? You already had the prior knowledge of this topic of the debate, and you already had it well before in time. So improvisation happens on stage, not beforehand. Don't you think it's already an added advantage to the team? In order to prove their point, they should have come unprepared without the knowledge of the topic and stand and speak. And that would have been a fairer play. To enlighten everyone, even for this rebuttal, also we were given time. I'm trying to establish the fact that time was given for preparation, not for improvisation. Time is given for preparation, not for improvisation. Toastmaster Abad told that while speaking through improvisation, you're speaking through your heart. Well, Toastmaster, let me correct you here. We think by our mind and speak through our mouth. So, and also, it's good to know that genuine expressions are expressed when spoken and improvised. But you need to realize that can go either way. It can be prepared or you can look worried. Also, there was a point that you were told that improvisation can bring on creativity. I infer the traits of creativity can be enhanced when time is given. Haven't you all seen that photo of a Spider-Man driven in 10 seconds, 5 minutes, and 50 minutes? The 12-second ones are so bad. That basically proves that for creativity, you need time. You need preparedness. And the guy who has done it in 50 minutes shows his experience that he was prepared to do this. So if you don't give time, then of course. You might say that while using improvisation that you are saving time. But why are you hurrying? I mean, you all are not working in a fire brigade, right? I mean, if you want to save time, save something better, save money, save lives, not time at speeches. As audience, you guys have come here to learn, gain some value, out of our speeches, prepared speeches. Won't you think it will be insulting on my part to deliver something improvised and unstructured? It's just like Google Maps giving you random directions. Would you accept that? I need to give you something prepared, value, and generate value out of it for you guys, for the time you're coming over here and telling, and giving your time here. In my humble opinion, fellow Toastmaster and guest, why don't you take a moment and glance over to our supporting team, put your hands on your hearts, and tell me, don't you feel they were comfortable? Did you see any lack of preparedness in them? I found them super confident on delivering their speeches because they had the knowledge of it. Remember, the best speeches in the history of the world were all prepared and never improvised because they wanted to give facts and nothing from the heart, because facts is something which you will believe on, and that is very strong. And that's how the world we are living on. Last but not the least, failing to plan is planning to fail. Thank you very much.
Does any one of you have a Google Translator? Can you get out your phone, please?
Sure. Will we translate, open it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I want you to search about one word called speech. How much do I have?
Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes.
Did you hear? It mentioned feelings. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Let me improvise. Ask me any question.
Tell us about the debate. It's your first experience.
Yes, this is my first experience to have the debate. I had a great chance to listen to great leaders, great chance to learn what is actually a debate. However, This is an example of how to be unprepared. I will give you an example. Does anyone of you heard about Steve Harvey? Yes. Steve Harvey have a show, a TV show called Ask Steve's. And actually he's improvising all the time in his speaks. Anyone, he will ask him a question and he will improvise. And it is one of the greatest TV shows. I have a personal story when I have started my first career as a HSS representative, where I need to be an improvised person, actually. I had a manager. She always put me in a short time notice of period. Whenever we have a meeting, when we have a presentation, and so on. I came all the time prepared, and at the last time, she said, "Oh, Muhammad, khalas, we changed the topic. I want you to take this agenda." What's happened? So imagine that I became a leader, I became a manager, I became maybe a representative of a company or something. And where I have a prepared speech, and suddenly something came up, something changed. Do I need to say, "Oh, no need, khalas, I will cancel my speech"? Improvised speech comes when the real times need you to speak. That's it for me, and thank you.